this 450 right where I want it. Dig it pretty deep. And everything cleared out. Take your drill about halfway down that hole and get out the rock. And dig it out where you want the edge of your
There's Arkansas.
straight down. Yeah, yeah. Still, you get more appeal with that hole being kind of midway rather than at the top or at the bottom, but I like crisp walls like that so they can definitely see that hole. You get what I'm talking about.
That's because they're thinking it's food?
Well, they think it's a mouse hole or whatever, but whatever reason they're thinking, you've got the only way they can see in that hole
is to get
be
down.
right in that trap, and you got that to funnel them. They can look over here, but they can't still get in there and see until they're looking down the runway. And on these, I don't worry about the wind either. But this is a good spot for these smaller traps.
Now the difference between the 450 and the 550 is just the size, right?
Yeah, there's still 2 coils.
Both of them are 2 coil?
I don't use anything but 2. I think the 4 is overkill. The only advantage you would have with the 4 coil is if you're trying to bust through and your jaws might be froze to the bed a little bit. Those stronger traps will bust out a little better than these 2 coils. But drive it down in there, and then you're gonna have to do a little bit of working to get your rim for your levers. But I put it right at the edge of the, in nature, I would have drove that anchor down in there. But I want that brought up to where there's just a tiny ledge right there at the dog. There has been some wild Indians here. Okay, and then just cover it up and let that be pretty good ledge there. You don't have to worry about your dirt or anything. But then put your bait. I'll make a bait that's a bobcat and beaver meat mix. And I normally don't carry this in my trapping bag. I keep everything in a bait bag just to keep them contaminating. Change my gloves. Because literally it's that crazy. You need to be that careful with your baiting and your luring, because you're just going to cause problems if you don't. But normally I've got a long handle spoon, and that much right there is probably just about the right amount, just about a walnut size. Put it back in your hole, and then take a little bit of urine, a little bit of Leggett's, whatever, just put it back there. And any type of a gland lure, whatever you want to do, just, this is that skunk stuff that I was talking about that I'll put on those bones, but if I open it, you'll smell it. It's just super skunky. And literally, all it takes.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
Got it? Okay. Just what will stick to the stick. And whether it's a gland lure, a call lure, it don't matter. It just takes a little bit.
Just lay it in the hole.
Lay it in the hole. You can. Yeah, that's nice. I got a good skull on that batch.
You smell it, Charlie?
Well, it must have blew out of the back of the truck. But, oh, here we go. Sheep wool I use that a lot too, and you can pull you off a pinch of that and put your lure on there. That sheep wool will keep it from evaporating so fast, and it's a natural thing to them. I think because we don't wash it or anything, it's natural and raw, and you can just put a little dab of that in there, and it does give it a little bit of a visual. Put it way back in there where you think it's defeating the purpose, but I think they can smell it.
You can't leave bait
Visual.
visible.
Yeah, it's got to be back in there. You can't have it where they can see it. But this is a killer, and have your sides here nice and crisp, where he's gonna wanna.
But you'd cover your pan just like you would any pan.
Yeah, I'm just not doing it now.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
I would put the peat moss and everything right down in there and anchor the trap, and it's good to go. But that is a trench set or step down dirt hole, whichever you want to call it. There's some guys that call them one, some call them the other. I'll do you a classic dirt hole now.